Hey, howdy back to the channel, guys. It's going to live stream the end of the trade deadline here as a couple names off the board. Winnipeg getting Tyler Toffoli today. It's probably the biggest deal. Another deal that kind of got in place earlier today was Evgeny Snetsov going to the Carolina Hurricanes, as 50% is retained on that as well, as just getting a bunch of stuff going here. We'll close this. And then we'll reopen it back up. It's going to let me watch and stream at the same time. You'll find out here. As I'm just turning TSN on, can't really listen to it because it goes through my computer and copyright strike goes to YouTube. So we'll just keep it open, see what kind of trades are happening right now. It is currently loading. There we go. Welcome in, everyone. We'll take a moment here, get people in here, and we'll talk about some of the NHL trades that have happened today and might happen. It is said Montreal is probably not doing anything else but trading Jake Allen. Ottawa doesn't seem to be doing anything. The Oilers are probably done after Jordan Eberle's re-signing with the Seattle Kraken, and Tyler Toffoli has gone to the Winnipeg Jets. Don't see Calgary moving Markstrom at this deadline. I think they might wait to the offseason or just keep him for the remaining 2 years left. And then the Vancouver Canucks haven't done anything today. Word on the streets is they're not happy with Lindholm's performance, but it looks like that might just be Lindholm staying in Vancouver. And Ottawa, like I said, hasn't done anything today. A lot of the Canadian teams staying put, just the Winnipeg Jets there today acquiring Tyler Toffoli from the New Jersey Devils. Yeah, let's see what else is going on here on TSN. Doesn't like me watching and switching. We'll watch here. As TSN's taking too long here to load. Yeah, it doesn't like me live streaming and watching that at the same time. But we'll go through the NHL trades today. I'll go down from the very first trade we had. I think it was about 8:30 in the morning my time, 10:30 Eastern. And that was, Evgeny Kuznetsov going to the Carolina Hurricanes from the Washington Capitals for a third-round pick. He does have a year remaining on his salary or on his contract. Third-round pick going to Washington. They are going to retain 50% of Kuznetsov's contract. He was in Hershey. He was actually prepared to play either tonight or tomorrow for Hershey, but now is a part of the Carolina Hurricanes. Then right after that, about half an hour after, Winnipeg Jets acquire Tyler Toffoli from the New Jersey Devils for a third-round pick in 2024, a second-round pick in 2025, and 50% retained on Toffoli's contract. Malcolm Subban has gone to the Columbus Blue Jackets for future considerations, gone to the St. Louis Blues. Boston gained some size and strength, adding Pat Maroon. He should be back within the next couple weeks from his back surgery he had. That's been reported. And Minnesota gets a conditional 6th-round pick in 2026 and Luke Toporowski. So some AHL guy there. Buffalo Sabres did trade away Kala Opozo to the Florida Panthers in exchange for Callie Zalin and a conditional 7th-round pick that I believe turns to a 5th, if I'm not mistaken. And then the Anaheim Ducks acquire Ben Myers from the Colorado Avalanche for a 5th-round pick. New York would acquire Chad Weedle from the Pittsburgh Penguins for a 4th-round pick in 2027. This trade here is kind of what they are calling the steal of the deal. Jason Zucker to the Nashville Predators for a 6th-round pick, no retained salary. So for a 6th-round pick, you're getting a guy, you're paying him his full salary. That's pretty good. Nick Patan has gone to the New York Rangers. Minnesota Wild have acquired Turner Elson in that deal. San Jose Sharks acquired Klim Kostin from the Detroit Red Wings for Radim Simic and a 7th-round pick in 2024. The New Jersey Devils acquired Jake Allen from the Montreal Canadiens for a conditional 3rd-round pick in 2025 and retained 50% of Allen's contract. Eric Johnson has just gone to the Philadelphia Flyers for a 4th-round pick in 2024. And the Philadelphia Flyers also acquired Dennis Gurianov from the Nashville Predators for Wade Allison. So that's kind of the news right now for trades. There were signings. Jordan Eberle signing a $9.5 million deal for 2 years, so 4.75 cap hit to stay with the Seattle Kraken. And Boston has signed defenseman Parker Witherspoon to a 1-year, $800,000 contract there as well. So Eberle staying, that kind of cut ties with a lot of teams thinking about him. And now we do have another trade that just came in. Boston Bruins acquire Andrew Peeke from the Columbus Blue Jackets for Jacob Zabaro. Probably said that wrong. I'm not good with half the names I'm saying, but yeah, so Boston adding Andrew Peeke, a guy that's been kind of scratched for the Columbus Blue Jackets as of late. Watched him play against the Oilers last night. This should help with the depth of Boston's defense for sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it as of right now. A lot of the trades will slowly come in with 41 minutes left until the NHL trade deadline's over. Of course, some trades will come in after, depending when the trade call was submitted. And that's pretty much that for that. Let's go see. I don't think Ken Holland is live. It was Matthias Ekholm's interview, so Ken Holland is not live yet. We'll go to Ignite TV and see if I can... Oh, yeah, they're in commercial break. So if you have any questions about a trade, let me know in the comment section. I can definitely look that up for you. Today is pretty low on the Oilers' radar today, as I believe it was probably Jordan Eberle was the guy they were hoping to get if he couldn't sign an extension, but he did. So I think pretty much every Canadian team is done. Like I said, Winnipeg Jets got Tyler Toffoli from the New Jersey Devils. Vancouver was in on him. We're on Jake Getzel, but it kind of sounds like they're kind of staying put now since the salary cap and stuff. Calgary doesn't seem like they're trading Jacob Markstrom. That could change in the next 40 minutes, but it sounds like he's going to stay in Calgary. He's doing pretty good, and they're on a heater right now as of late, playing good hockey. So why mess with the goalie that could give you a better chance to make the playoffs, right? We'll just go refresh Sportsnet here. Oh. We got some fine news. Evander Kane was fined last night. Jake McCabe was fined $5,000 for cross-checking Brad Marchand in the face. Kane's was fined for unsportsmanlike conduct, apparently. Don't know what he did in the game, but yeah. So those are the two non-trade deadline news here. As I cannot switch screens without this pausing. Why? I don't like that. As we'll get back to here. Why is my phone going off? As they're outside Scotiabank Arena talking to one of the insiders, probably saying Toronto's probably done here. Uh, I could see them doing that because they're money in, money out. They were talking about it earlier about how John Tavares needs to kind of step it up. You're making $11 million. And yeah, still on the board, Eric Brandstrom, lefty from Ottawa. Elias Lindholm's name's up there again. He's kind of having a slow start with the Vancouver Canucks. Jacob Chikrin is still on that board. Dominic Kubalik, who has 10 goals and only 14 points. So he's been shooting the puck well, just not getting the scoring opportunities. Jacob Markstrom, like I said, 22 wins this season, 262 with a 911 save percentage. As they're just kind of talking to all the insiders right now to see what's going on with all the Canadian teams. That's been pretty boring trade deadline, if I could say so myself. Not the 31-32 trade deadlines we've had before, but this trade deadline, it's different, I guess you could say, for sure. As they're talking about Toronto here. Now they're in Montreal, where Montreal traded Jake Allen. That's probably all they're going to do. They're going to stop with the 3 goalie carousel, run with Montembeault and Primo there, which not a bad idea. And you know what? New Jersey gets a goalie that is not on a bad contract, $3.85 million, and half of it's retained. He's 6-12-3 this year with a 365 goals against, 892 save percentage. He's playing on a Montreal team that's not doing anything. I could see Jake Allen getting some wins there for the New Jersey Devils, but I have a feeling this was kind of the trade that, New Jersey did so they can get a better goalie in the offseason and work their way from there before the trade or before free agency, and that's how they're going to upgrade their team there. So Jake Allen is part of the New Jersey Devils. Sorry. It's been a long day here today. As we're just going to look at this. I would have liked Pat Maroon in the Oilers jersey again, but him and Sam Carrick on the fourth line, that would have been great. As we are 35 minutes until the bell has rang for the trade deadline to be over. There we go, as they're talking with the insiders right now. LA being really quiet too, being in third place right now after Vegas lost to the Vancouver Canucks. LA not really making any moves. We could see still there's 35 minutes, don't get me wrong, but LA, they were talking LA needs to do something if they want to keep up with Edmonton, Vancouver, and Vegas. I know Vegas is on a downhill spiral, but that is pretty much that as of right now. 34 minutes left to go in this NHL trade deadline. Andrew Peeke going to Boston is the latest trade. Tyler Johnson still on the board. Capo Kakkonen. Alexander Carrier is on the board still. Dominic Kubalik. One name to kind of watch out for in the last 34 minutes, which I don't think he'll get traded, is Jake DeBrusk, unless a team can kind of go player for player that benefits Boston as well as Jake DeBrusk benefits the team he would go to. That's the only way I see Boston moving Jake DeBrusk right now. Tyler Johnson, yeah. So they're not really changing their trade bait board here. For goalies, Markstrom's still on there. I don't see him moving. Nedeljkovic is an interesting one. I'm Not too sure if a playoff team will actually go after him. He has 9 wins this season, 287 goals against, and 908 save percentage. But for Nedeljkovic, he is a solid backup for a team that needs a backup. Capo Kakinen not really doing anything this year for the San Jose Sharks, but who really is. And then, of course, Jake Allen went to New Jersey, and the Boston Bruins do have Linus Ullmark on this trade board. I just don't. I think the price is too high for Linus Ullmark. 16 wins this season, 277 goals against, and 909 save percentage. I just don't see a contending team really needing to unload assets for Linus Ullmark. I'm kind of surprised New Jersey didn't go after him, but again, being so close to Boston, a lot of teams don't like to trade within conference, as you can tell by some of the deals. Or if you're Calgary, you just trade to the rival teams in the same division as you. But that's that. Standings for the Metropolitan: New York has 84, leads the way. Carolina, Philly in third place. They're making some moves today and whatnot. New York Islanders have 70. Washington, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Columbus round out the last of the teams. And for Pittsburgh, it's been a really disappointing season for them. Kyle Dubas coming in. They got Erik Karlsson at the start of the summer there and just never really unfolded to anything. So there's that trade deadline talk. Some more with Gino Reda and the insiders there. Marty Baron. Anyway, this is a pretty boring trade deadline. Like, yeah, Toffoli went, Kuznetsov went. But when you're talking about Kyle Okposo as being one of the top trades, you know it's a pretty deadline. So they just keep talking here, and we'll just wait to see if there's any more trade news. If you guys in the comments need to know anything about a trade, I can bring it up. We could talk about it. Let me know. As they're talking about Jacob Markstrom right now, I just don't see a scenario where Calgary trades him at this point. With 31 minutes to go, you never know, but it's highly unlikely. I'm not too sure if there is a team out there looking for a goalie that isn't the New Jersey Devils, and they already just got a goalie. So we'll see what goes on there. I'm kind of shocked that maybe LA hasn't made a move yet. They could be in the market for a goalie. I don't know how long you can ride Cam Talbot in the playoffs. But we'll see from that as Tampa Bay. They're showing all the stats for Tampa Bay. And whatnot. So, yeah, not much really to talk about. Klim Kostin got traded to San Jose. Pacific standings: Vancouver 89, second place Edmonton 78, LA, Vegas. Calgary is only 6 points out of a playoff spot. So I was talking with a couple of Calgary fans last night, and it's one of those points where at the trade deadline, are you soft buyers? Are you soft sellers? You already traded Hanifin, Tanev, and Lindholm, but your team's still playing good. So do they maybe look to see if there's anyone that can help them make a push to the playoffs? Or do they just sell high right now? So that's one thing to keep an eye out for. Seattle, Anaheim, and of course San Jose is the worst team, I believe, in the NHL right now. Good gap for Vancouver, though. Like, they haven't really made moves today. They are weaker on the wings than anything. I don't think Mikheyev's really a second-line left winger. Pius Suter, he's having a decent year, but he's not a first-line right winger in the playoffs. Like, that's a guy. That's why they were trying to target guys like Jake Getzel, Tyler Toffoli. Could be in on Jake DeBrusk. You never know with him. He is a UFA at the end of the year. So we'll see what happens there. For Boston, maybe that's their forward pickup where they're just going to say, hey, we're going to stick with Jake DeBrusk for the year. And if he walks in free agency, he walks. as far as I've heard, there is no intimate contract extensions with Jake DeBrusk. I could see maybe the Edmonton Oilers going after him in the offseason, just being an Edmonton-born boy. He practices with Stuart Skinner. His dad broadcasts for the Oilers, all that fun stuff. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. As the Toronto's trades are Joel Edmondson and Lee Lebuskin. They gave up a third, a fifth, and a sixth for those guys. It's a little bit higher than I would have paid, but yeah, not much going on here today. That is for sure. Eastern standings, your wildcard teams tied at 72 points, 2 games in hand for Detroit are Detroit and Tampa Bay. Detroit being really quiet today as well, so we'll see what goes on there. Flyers did add some defensive depth with Eric Johnson today, and they did also add Dennis Gurianov as well for some speed there. Yeah, not much to really talk about. This deadline's been, no problem. It's been a really boring deadline the last few years, not gonna lie. We got 27 minutes left. Oilers are probably done for today, unless, like I said, it's, if there is a player where it's not going to take much to get him out of the team he's in, and it's going to have to be player for player at that point. So we'll see what goes on. As they are into commercial break, Red Lobster commercial break. I haven't been to Red Lobster in quite some time. The wife doesn't really like lobster, so now what is this? What is Thrash tweeting? Oh God. Kevin Weeks has just posted that the Golden Knights could be onto something. They need to stop. This is ridiculous. Like, playing injured players, keeping them out until the trade deadline, and it's just enough. The NHL needs to put a salary cap in for the playoffs where you can have as many guys on your roster as you want, but to play that game, you have to be at or below the salary cap. That's the way this should work. There should be a salary cap in the NHL for playoff time. You just shouldn't be able to load up in whatnot and then get guys back. So apparently Golden Knights, I don't know. That is what Kevin Weeks posted, was at Golden Knights with a bunch of eye emojis. What is this? Is Joey Votto coming? Sorry, I got some baseball news here as well. TSM posted, I'm excited about the opportunity to work my way back in the major leagues. I had even sweeter to attempt this while wearing the uniform of my hometown team. Did the Blue Jays just sign Joey Votto to a minor league deal? Frank Severelli says the Columbus Blue Jackets get a 2027 third-round pick in addition to Zaboro for Andrew Peeke. Peeke was potentially tending towards a buyout this summer, so they do get some news on that front. As I'm kind of interested to see about Blue Jays and Joey Votto. Is that a thing? Like, did I miss something today while watching the trade deadline? Bob Stauffer today, for any Oilers fans in the stream, the lines were RNH, McDavid, Hyman, McLeod, Draisaitl, Fogle, Kane, Henrique, Perry, Janmark, Carrick, Brown, with Ryan as the extra forward now. So it almost seems like Ryan and Brown are kind of just kind of swapping in and out. D pairing stayed the same, and Skinner was in the starter's net. I would assume Skinner probably starts tomorrow versus Buffalo, and then Picard will start Sunday. Both afternoon games, of course, 10:30 a.m. I think Mountain Time, and then 11 a.m. Mountain Time for the Pittsburgh game on Sunday. So Oilers hockey early in the morning. At least it's getting warmer out here in Edmonton. I don't mind that. Watch some hockey in the morning, go do what I need to do during the afternoon. In the nicer weather, hopefully the snow then goes away and stays away because I absolutely hate winter. And yeah, we'll just stop with that. We're still waiting to why Kevin Weeks tagged the Vegas Golden Knights, but Ranta, D'Angelo, and Lemieux have cleared waivers yesterday. Matt Dumba to Tampa Bay is picking up streams, so that's the thing to watch out for. Matt Dumba to the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's straight from Elliot Friedman himself. So we'll see what goes on from there. As what else is here too? Yeah, so everyone's reporting Matt Dumba to the Tampa Bay Lightning. As I'm kind of surprised they're going to the Matt Dumba route. Sorry about that. I'm surprised they're going Matt Dumba route, having Chikrin available still. I would have thought maybe they would have took a swing at Jacob Chikrin, that's for sure. The times suck for those that wake up at crack of noon, but by the way, it really weren't. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning, so it doesn't really bother me. I usually have my dad nap around, 9 o'clock or so. So we'll do that. Kids don't have soccer anymore. That's the nice part about Saturdays now. I don't have to go to soccer to coach my little one. But yeah, so they are reporting Lightning have acquired Matt Dumba. We are waiting on the trade details for that. Like I said, I'm kind of shocked. Jacob Chikrin not getting traded or anything. So that could be waiting to the offseason as well. Tampa Bay, of course, missing Mikhail Sergachev as they're talking with all the Western Canadian teams right now. As, of course, Ryan Rashog's in Buffalo because that's where the Oilers are tomorrow. Calgary's reporters in Florida enjoying the nice weather. They showed him at like 6 o'clock this morning or 6:30 this morning Mountain Time. There's people swimming and, sea-dooing in the back there. So, and the Ottawa Senators have claimed Boris Katchuk off waivers from the Chicago Blackhawks, so they do get a player. I guess that's going to be their move for today. Other than that, sorry about that. Other than that, not really anything to report. There's Dumba going to Tampa Bay. Oilers are sitting still, it looks like, and we're going to ride the pine with those guys. I would like to see Holloway up with the big club. I can't express that more. I don't think him being in the AHL is the right idea, but also playing fourth line minutes, it's hard to get under your legs under you and stuff. So I did like Sam Carrick's game last night. He did have one bad turnover that Picard bailed him out, but Sam Carrick stepping up for his teammates within the first period of the first game with your new teammates, I do have the utmost respect for that. Yeah, so we're just kind of hanging out 19 minutes until the trade deadline. I'll probably do a video for the Oilers after Ken Holland speaks. Of course, my phone I don't get it. You plug this into your phone and it thinks it's a Bluetooth headphone. I don't know. It doesn't work half the time. as they're talking in Vancouver now with whoever Vancouver's guy is with. But yeah, I think all the Canadian teams are probably done for now. We'll go see if they've updated the official trade call for Matt Dumba. As Twitter's not really saying anything, it's just saying Matt Dumba. It has to be the full cap hit due to the fact that I don't think Arizona has any retention slots left. So it would be all of Matt Dumba's cap hit going to the Tampa Bay Lightning unless there was a third party involved, which Montreal does have two. I think Anaheim has none left. San Jose has one or two. So we'll go on from there. Not much. This deadline sucked. I missed the deadlines where you had the 32 trades and it's like 70 some players or 40 some players and 70 some picks, and now we got I think maybe like 12 trades today, and most have just been one or two picks for a player or a player for a player. So this kind of blows. No major trades. They all happened already earlier this week, of course. So one thing to keep an eye out on is the LA Kings. They have stayed pat this year. It's kind of shocking. Like, there is 17 minutes left, but LA in that third spot in the Pacific Division, 3 points behind Edmonton, 2 in front of Vegas. You'd think they would have tried to upgrade their team somehow defensively, in the goaltending market of things, but we'll have to see if LA does anything. It's kind of a shocker. They could have been in on, Getzel or Toffoli or something, and it just didn't work out. Why is it? I have no idea. Can I put subtitles on so I can at least see what they're saying? How do I put subtitles on this? Closed caption? Oh, there we go. We'll just leave some subtitles when Ryan Rashog comes on, and we'll see what happens there. As the subtitles are really delayed on this for some reason. And whoever's it said blames instead of flames. Yeah, not a good look there to my TV provider. As they should be going to Ryan Rashog, of course. We'll have Ken Holland's interview sometime in a bit here. They're making fun of Ryan Rashog for finally going outside. Ryan Rashog says they were kicking tires with possibly a trade with Seattle last night, but because of the salary cap and Eberle re-signing with Seattle, that was probably it. They were still open to finding a right winger for Leon Draisaitl. So yeah, Oilers are more than likely done. I will have a video talk about Holland's press conference, but 14 minutes left. Doesn't seem like they are going to do anything. I don't think Jake DeBrusk, he'd be the only one that I really like in an Oilers uniform at this deadline, but honestly, probably not going to do anything, as there's been 21 trades for the deadline. As I'm going to turn this off, the closed captioning. But yeah, 13 minutes left here. Thanks for hanging out with me for the last hour. Do really appreciate it. We could go over the trades here in a little bit. So it is Matt Dumba and a 2025 seventh round pick to the Tampa Bay Lightning in exchange for a 2027 fifth round pick. So Tampa Bay paying more for Matt Dumba than what the Predators did to acquire Jason Zucker. Yeah, a lot of 2027 round picks are being thrown around because of the double retention and teams not having those picks anymore. So Matt Dumba to the Tampa Bay Lightning, be a depth defenseman if Sergachev comes back, third line pairing. He does have 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points, but it's not the Matt Dumba that came in the league and started terrorizing offenses as he was a punisher, could get the offense going, but yeah, so Matt Dumba is traded. Top defensemen's left are in the top 5 are Jacob Chikrin and Eric Brandstrom. I don't see Chikrin moving. I think he's more of a early offseason move. Yeah, the Oilers did do minimal changes. At the end of the day, I would have preferred maybe like TSN kept talking about the metric system and the metrics that the Oilers are actually running. I would have liked to see an upgrade on Cody Ceci as Desharnais has improved this year. If you're playing a team like Vegas, I think LA, you're fine to have Desharnais and Nurse together. But as soon as you hit Vegas, I think Eichel and Stone would walk right all over Desharnais and Nurse pairing. I think they should have probably explored an option. And who knows, this could be another offseason matter where Ken Holland is gone and Jeff Jackson goes, hey, whoever the new GM is, we need to upgrade from Cody Ceci. And that could be this summer. I know, not too sure how Ken Holland's contract works when it totally ends. I'd assume it's before the NHL draft, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it is the Jeff Jackson show, I believe, in Edmonton. But hey, we all have our opinions. As Bruce Boudreau's talking, we're 10 minutes and 48 seconds left to go here. In the trade deadline, this chair is really uncomfortable. But yeah, any late trades, we'll stay live for about 15 minutes after the trade deadline, just in case, there are trade calls that are going to happen after the deadline because you have to get in. You got to wait your turn. You're already on the phone and whatnot. They close the phone lines at 1, but the trades don't really come out until after 1 too. So 21 trades today. We'll see what goes on here. We can recap the trades in a bit, 10 minutes or so. As who are they looking at now? Craig Budgeon. They're just talking about Matt Dumba, how he's a UFA at the end of the year. Clem Costin did get traded to the San Jose Sharks. I think the Oilers see the Sharks at least one more time, if I'm not mistaken, this year. James Dudley talking about random stuff. Yeah, so I can't elaborate more, but this trade deadline sucked. It sucked for trades is what I mean. Like, usually there's always a major deal and stuff, and that all happened before the deadline, so no one's really watching today. And one thing to kind of consider too, if you're a U.S. team trading for a Canadian or a European from a Canadian team, it takes about 48 to 72 hours to get your work visa, and they're not open on weekends. So any trade right now a U.S. team does for a Canadian player that's on a Canadian team or a European player, more than likely he won't be in the lineup till at least next Friday. By the time he gets his work visa, gets there, gets a practice in, and depending on when the game is, it could be even next Saturday before you see him. And that's what kind of held up Chris Tanev when he went to Dallas and why it took so long, because he couldn't leave Calgary to go there. He had to stay in Calgary and wait for his work visa. Starting to get exhausted here. I am waiting for the text for the kids or the wife to be home, so run uptown after this. As we're just in commercial break here, not much we can really do. Even the insiders are saying, hey, this is really boring day today. And they've been there for probably about 9 hours, 10 hours. Kyle Dubas is speaking to... Oh, we do have another trade coming in, as Jack Roslovic is being traded from the Columbus Blue Jackets. He is going to the New York Rangers. So Roslovic to the New York Rangers. We'll wait to see what happens here. Frank Severelli says Max Pacioretty is staying in Washington. David Pagnotta has mentioned this morning earlier on the network, Vegas has been making traction on another big move for a player with term. We'll see if they can get that done in the final 10 minutes. So Vegas looking for a guy with term. Don't tell me it's Benevich. Like, this is getting ridiculous. Frank Severelli. So it is going to the New York Rangers. Is Roslovic in exchange for a mid-round pick in 2026 is the word we have from Frank Severelli. The Penguins have acquired Ludwig Weber and a conditional 7th in exchange for Florida for Magnus Hellberg. Kuznetsov will wear 92. And Linus Ullmark, one of the reasons he didn't get traded today is he has a no trade clause. So, yeah, Roslovic to the New York Rangers is the newest trade here, according to Elliot Freeman and Chris Johnson. They're probably going to talk about that here as they talked to Wayne Simmons, so they're not even going to talk about trades anymore. I think they're done. Frank Severelli reporting now that the Oilers are done. Their deadline shopping is now complete. Would have liked to add either a top 6 right wing or upgrade defense, but, we got at least one more year to do that with the whole Ekholm contracts, Draisaitl, McDavid. This is a stepping stone to try and get that with. So I wouldn't mind seeing if Henrique works out in the Oilers uniform, taking a discount to stay. But the way his season's going, I don't believe that will happen. And it's a 4th-round pick going to Columbus from the New York Rangers and becomes a 3rd if the Rangers reach the Stanley Cup Finals. So could be a 3rd pick for Roslovic. He would have been a great addition to the Oilers. Nitty-gritty little guy, has some scoring touch there. Yeah, that's true. So, Dubas, are you? So this is the breaking news, and I am gonna be livid if this happens. Vegas and the San Jose Sharks are working on a trade that involves Thomas Hertl. Okay, they need to add a salary cap to the playoffs because this is just ridiculous. You go and throw Stone on LTIR, he's probably going to be back for the playoffs. You put Alec Martinez on LTIR, probably back for the playoffs. Then you get Noah Hannafin. You get, who else did they get? Can't remember the other guy they got. For some reason, it's not in my head. And now you're working on Thomas Hertl. This is like the NHL is stupid. And Bettman said after the whole Kucherov thing, we're going to look into this. We're going to penalize teams. Like, we're going to make a stop to this. And his golden team that he loves so much is basically ruining the NHL at this point. So, yeah. Winnipeg Jets go back to New Jersey and acquire Colin Miller from the New Jersey Devils. That's from Darren Drager. A lot for a mid-round pick. And honestly, this is just getting dumb with the Vegas Golden Knights. Like, seriously? Text Dolany TV. Like, we're almost turning into like the meta of the NBA and that like LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh era, or Durant, Curry, Thompson. Like, yeah, Thomas Hertl is now a Las Vegas Golden Knight. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Oh, this is, yeah, I, this is ridiculous. I don't think this should be happening in the NHL. Like, yeah, anyway, I'm going to end the stream here. That kind of just pretty much got me because this is not the greatest thing. Latest news, former Edmonton Oiler William Legason was claimed by the Anaheim Ducks. Yeah, it's the thing I don't get there is Bettman clearly stated, we're going to fix this so teams can't do this. Now that it's only the Golden Knights doing it, and they just recently paid the NHL $500 million, they're getting away with it. And I bet you any money, as soon as a Canadian team does it, Bettman will be slamming the book down. And that's how it's going to work with Bettman. Like, the NHL is a joke now. Because think about it. You put, they were talking about this on TSN. You play these guys while they're injured, because every time you go see the medical personnel for the team or anything, they have to document what you need. It could be from a Band-Aid for a paper cut to a nice pack for your neck. Sorry. And so on. Well, you have all this. Teams did complain about Mark Stone last year. The NHL said there was no physical evidence of anything. But now you got Mark Stone. I get he has a ruptured spleen or whatever. But Alec Martinez, who knew he was hurt? There was no news that he was hurt. And a day or two before the NHL trade deadline, he's going on LTIR. Where's the news that he was hurt? He was playing. So they're playing their guys while hurt to make them injured so they could go on LTIR. And like I said, it's not going to change until the rules change. And that's not going to change until a Canadian team does it. That's just how it's going to work with Gary Bettman. But yeah, Hurdle is on IR right now. So, okay. Sounds like a first rounder is going back to San Jose in the Hurdle deal. So I'm going to look up Thomas Hurdle because if he's on IR, this is. And the worst part is, it's not even just Vegas. It's the fact teams are letting Vegas get away with it by trading those players to Vegas. What is going on here? So Hurdle is on IR. He has 6 more years remaining on his 8.1375 cap hit. If Sharks retain, they will have no open retention spots left. So yeah, Thomas Hurdle, I don't even know what to say anymore. Yeah, Thomas Hurdle. So he had surgery on his left knee on February 14th. So what? How long is he out for? Like, is he out for the whole playoffs? Because then, okay, whatever. But if he comes back for the playoffs, Mark Stone comes back for the playoffs, Martinez comes back for the playoffs, this could be something that they just put him on LTIR and whatnot. But apparently Thomas Hurdle was available. So this was February 12th. Thomas Hurdle will miss several weeks after having his left knee cleaned to remove loose cartilage. The team announced. The Sharks said in a statement that an exact timeline could sorry, no timeline back, so he'll probably be back for the playoffs knowing Vegas. Oh yeah, exactly. So yeah, Thomas Hurdle going to the Vegas Golden Knights. The Caps are done. And even Jason Gregor posted once that, yeah, salary cap in the playoffs needs to happen because this is ridiculous. And why I say it's ridiculous too is you look at the playoffs last year, Florida without Kachuk, without Ekblad in that one game, the salary was $100 million to $69 million. Of course, Vegas was going to win that series. There's no doubt in my mind they're winning that series. So now with this, you're probably looking at Vegas having probably a salary cap of $110 million again this year if everyone comes back for playoffs. Yeah. So that's a thing. Vegas is getting Thomas Hurdle. Are the Blue Jays playing right now? Maybe I'll go watch some baseball. At least that sport, if you get a player, it's because they're good. And the team's just using luxury tax. But, yeah, so Thomas Hurdle to the Vegas Knights. And the panel is going berserk. Jays are beating Yankees in spring training 2-1, top of the 8th. Okay. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me today. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. That's pretty much it for me today as Blue Jays signed Canadian slugger Joey Votto to a minor league deal. The Canadian boy is coming home. That was rumored for a bit now. But yeah, thanks for tuning in to the stream, everyone. Trade deadline is over. It's all good to go. But biggest news now is Thomas Hurdle's going to the Vegas Golden Knights. He still has term left at 8.1. I don't know how Vegas keeps getting away with this. It is stupid. And like I said, the NHL won't do anything until a Canadian team does it because Gary Bettman doesn't like Canada. He's already said that multiple times. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Gillis TV. You guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah, you guys have a good one.